Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode here on the Carsey Show. Today, I wanted to add another take on to the Sunday Thoughts series, and today I wanted to kind of bounce around the idea and see if I can maybe get a lot of you people to start asking questions. Especially with everything that has been going on here lately. There's been such a polarizing incident, not only for America, man. If you're thinking this is just an American issue, you've become so short-sighted. You're not thinking with reason or logic. You need to get out of your own way and kind of broaden your horizons a little bit and look at the implications and think it through, with like a scientific method. You know what I mean? I want everyone that is out and about slinging their opinions out, and so for some of you out there who are just so frustrated and passionately angry that you're out and about you're hitting the streets up and you're grinding, you're trying to make a statement, you're trying to start a movement. I applaud you for doing so, but I also need you to think and start asking questions. The way that we are just going, like everyone's got a direction here, there, everywhere, it's almost like watching a freaking circus show, like everyone opened all the cages up and it's a freaking mosh pit in the middle just colliding. There's no thinking, no rationale, no nothing. It's just pure chaos, man. Honestly. Before I ultimately ended my time in college, there was this one class, and it has stuck with me ever since. I will never forget it. It was this, like, writing and research class. It was almost like the beginning step to like a literacy major, or God, it probably could have went so many ways, but it was the groundworks. It was a basic intro class. But anyways, the one thing that I remember most, it was like an animated, interactive class, especially on this subject. It revolved around, you and your choices on how you helped handle big events throughout history, such as with Socrates and Plato, to Newton. Oh my God, I forgot his name. In Old England, I forgot his name. Isaac Newton. There we go. Oh my God. To gosh, the leaders that were going on with the plague, and so anyways, and especially with Sir Isaac Newton, that was a big one. It always made you bounce around, interviewing, looking at the facts, listening to everyone's stories. Ultimately, you'd come to an answer, and more than likely you were proven wrong. Your answer was wrong. And I think no matter how you played it, your answer was wrong. And the point that was driven home was, no matter like the easiest multiple choice answers set before you are necessarily going to be the right ones. And the reason you would know how to figure this out is by continuing to ask questions. like I said, with Sir Isaac Newton, with this poisoning of water wells in London, and he was able to triangulate it, and using logic and reasoning, using math to figure out. But he also had to use something else. He had to use a sort of like intuition that we all carry on a day-to-day basis. We just don't think about it. It's this, passive ability that we all have, and we take it for granted. But the more you ask questions, the more you get out of your own way and you start to ask and see things for what they really are. And not even in that case, you can start to see things for what they are not. Like, you are being fed, some bullshit information. Someone's probably lying to you or this and that. But the fact that if you keep asking questions, you keep your composure, don't let it become personal. Because then you won't get what you're looking for. It'll just become a riot. It'll just become a big cesspool of emotions, and it just turns into a shit show. The point I'm trying to drive home here is there's a lot of motivation. There's a lot of reasons for everything, every choice, every decision we ever make. And if you ever want to find out the reason why such and such is happening, or to even figure out what it is in the first place, if you're like some of us left out here in BFE, you've got to always ask why. Always ask the question why, even if you have to do it several times in a row. Sometimes questioning, including the ones closest to you, questioning their everything, their motive, their reason, it will reveal, it will bring to the surface what you want to know and what you need to know. And when it comes with being fed bullshit lies and distractions, there was this quote that I always love to try to live by whenever this comes about. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. And I think that could apply to every single one of us in this world right now, with how, superficially interconnected that we are across the entire globe, man. You can't believe. I mean, sometimes I'd even go as far as saying none of what you see and none of what you hear. With AI's introduction into our society, it's a scary concept. Now, I don't mean to try to scare or make anyone nervous or anxious about this sort of thing, because this is the very reason why I brought this up to begin with, because the tools at our disposal can help, separate the wheat from the chaff, so to speak. We can use our own gut instinct and our questioning of things. Question their authenticity, their verification, the realness itself. If it's verifiable, if it's valid, if it's true, if it's false. We have all the tools we need at our disposal. We just need to utilize it. We have become so underutilized as a species anymore. We've become over-dependent on everything else to do the hard things in life for us, which is the bane of man, honestly. The less we do, the worse we become. The less we do, the worse we become. Scary thought, man. I think there's a reason why, especially the people 20 to 30 years older than me that are sitting in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, all those older people, and this is where you need to listen up, especially you young kids out there. This is where we need to listen to our elders. We need to take a page and a note from their books, their stories that they have written over time, because they have a lot to teach. They've lived a lot. They've seen a lot. And I think if you just humor them and listen to them, you're going to learn quite a bit of lessons. And if not, we're just doomed to repeat history all over again, over and over, until we can finally get our heads out our asses and do something right for a change. But there's a reason why they say, it used to be so much better. It used to be so much easier during my time, during this time. It's that same old shit that everyone typically goes around and goes, oh, here we go. Here they go again. Okay, Gramps, what you got to say now? If you get out of your own way and you just listen, man, just give it a go. How they lived was so much simpler and so much easier. People weren't stupid enough back then. Because if they were like they are today, they would be dead. Because you just had to go out there into society to do stuff. And that meant interacting and being social and talking and communicating. And if you got out of line, started acting stupid, you got smacked up, you got jacked up, or you ended up dead. Back then, there wasn't this hyper-connected network of shit. Because you had to work together as a community to survive and to thrive. It wasn't some Jack and Pony show, man. Relying on industry and automation. And then now, God, we've come so far with interconnectivity that we have driven a wedge between everyone so far that there's no connection. It's not real anymore. No one cares. They just want to know what's on the up and up. What's the newest and latest information? Who did what? Who did this? Where? When? Where? How? There's no care for your elderly neighbor next door, or another young couple across the street raising some young kids. No one cares anymore, man. It's sad. Look, and I'm gonna kind of backtrack here a little bit. I can't say no one, because there are the few out of the crazy population that there is in this world. There is that very small, minute number that does care and will do this. So that's a plus. Hopefully that keeps getting bigger of a number throughout time. We'll see. Who fucking knows? I can only hope. So, it leaves us with the question, why? Why are things the way they are? Why is society behaving the way that it is? Why are only certain groups of people in society behaving the way they are? If you're one of those people out there trying to investigate to find out, or just to know just because you want to know, trying to stay informed, then utilize what you have, what we all have currently in our arsenal as individuals. Reasoning, logic, and the ability to think for yourself. Stop listening to everybody else. Inform yourself. Ask the question. Ask many questions. hopefully you will become a better person for it. Because that's all I ever want for myself, for my family, and for everyone. Stop being mindless zombies or sheep following in the queue behind everyone else in front of them, leading to their ultimate doom. So, everyone, thank you for coming around to check out this episode here on the Carsey Show. I hope you can spread the word. Leave a like, subscribe, tell me what you think. I appreciate y'all for stopping by if you stuck around this long. Take care. See you soon.